And I'll leave that example up just for right now. Put this down so you can see. Okay, so my next one is, ¿te gusta trabajar en las noches? Oopsie. Okay, that's too long. ¿Te gusta trabajar en las noches? Do you like to do you like to work at night, or do you like to work nights? And I'll give you a second to go ahead and answer that for me. Okay, so you can answer something like, maybe some of you are a little bit confused, so let's do it together, okay? So we're using the verb gustar conjugated already for us. Gusta, meaning like, to like. And we're going to use this verb so that we can use our infinitive AR verbs that we just learned. Okay, so we're trying to figure out what these AR verbs mean. In this case, our AR verb was manejar, to drive. In this case, our AR verb is trabajar, to work. Okay, so I'm asking, ¿te gusta trabajar en las noches? Do you like to work at night, or do you like to work nights? And I'm seeing some answers here. Very nice. So Coral, no me gusta trabajar en las noches. That is perfect. Pramila, no me gusta trabajar en las noches. Very good. Okay, so we have two people answering us no. No me gusta trabajar en las noches. Okay? No me gusta trabajar en las noches. Or, if you like it, you would say sí. Me gusta trabajar en las noches. Okay? We'll do some more. Are there any questions, though? I feel like there might be some lingering questions, so I'll erase this and give you a second in case you have some questions. Oh, good, yeah. In Spanish, you would use that double negative. It's not incorrect like in English, so it's kind of signifying like you would say in English, no, I do not. So you have this negative and this negative. So it's the same thing. No me gusta trabajar. If you were to say just no me gusta trabajar en las noches, that would be fine too. Anybody else? Okay, I want to make sure everybody understands why we're doing this. So we're practicing our AR verbs, okay? We're practicing basically using them in the correct context and making sure that you know what they mean. Okay, so we'll continue here, but please stop me with any questions at all. So my next one would be number 3, if you're following in the book, page 16. So our next one is, ¿te gusta mirar televisión? ¿Te gusta mirar televisión? And I won't translate it yet. I'll give you a minute to figure it out. Good, Susanna. Yes. So, ¿te gusta mirar televisión? Do you like to watch TV? I have sí me gusta mirar televisión. Sí me gusta la televisión. Okay. No, Pramila, that's perfect. That's great. Okay, so if you like to watch television, you would say sí. Me gusta mirar. So mirar would be to watch. Sí me gusta mirar televisión. Okay, if you do not, you would say no. No me gusta mirar televisión. Okay, so what we're focusing on here is right there. We want to talk about mirar, mirar meaning to watch, so we want to learn that, and we want to make sure that we're using it correctly. Okay, let's do a few more. ¿Te gusta? ¿Te gusta estudiar español? And again, I won't translate till I'll give you a little bit of time. ¿Te gusta estudiar español? Oh, that's good to hear. Okay, so ¿te gusta estudiar español? So meaning, do you like to study Spanish? Do you like to study Spanish? And you can answer, sí, me gusta estudiar español, or no, no me gusta estudiar español. So same format here. Sí, me gusta estudiar, which is very similar to the verb to study. Sí, me gusta estudiar español. Okay, now let's skip around, okay? That way you guys can practice some more at home. So we'll go down here to number 7. That's a good one. ¿Te gusta limpiar el baño? And if you don't have the book, it'll tell you that baño means bathroom. ¿Te gusta limpiar el baño? ¿Te gusta limpiar el baño? So this means, do you like to clean the bathroom? So limpiar meaning to clean. To clean. Do you like to clean the bathroom? And I'll just answer for me personally while I wait for you guys to answer there. No. No. No me gusta limpiar el baño. No, no me gusta limpiar el baño. Me neither. Sí me gusta limpiar el baño. Good. Very good. Okay, perfect. So everybody's format is perfect. Okay, so are there any questions? Let me see. Okay, so I really appreciate this participation. That's really good. And please, everybody, please feel free to participate in the chat, or if you want to unmute yourself just so I can hear you, if you can't type it in or you don't feel like it and you want to just say it. That's fine. I can hear you. Well, you have to unmute yourself first, but once you unmute yourself, I can hear you. Okay, so any questions before we move on? We're all good? Okay, we're going to continue with, we're going to come back to these verbs in a little bit and learn how to conjugate them. But we're going to move on because we're going to get something else to help us here. So we're going to look at subject pronouns first. They're at the bottom of page 16, so if you're still following along. Okay, good. We're following on to page 16, or to the bottom of page 16, so let's look at a slide. Let me just get it. One second. And here we are. Okay? Okay, so subject pronouns, here we go. So let's look at this little chart here first, okay? So the word for I is yo. Now the word for you, informal you, is tú. Now, what that means, informal, is basically if you are speaking to anybody that you don't need to show the utmost respect for. What I mean by that is maybe somebody who is your peer or your friend, or you know like really well, someone you know super well. You can just speak casually to that person without having to offer any extra form of respect. So you would just use tú. Now, the word for he is él. Notice the accent over the E. For she, ella. Ella, the double L making the Y sound. Now, the you formal, if you are speaking to somebody that you want to show more than usual respect for, then you would use the verb usted. This is maybe somebody who is your elder, or maybe a professor, or maybe a relative, or somebody that you want to show a lot of extra respect for, then you would use usted. You also would use this with someone you just met. Now, not always. If it's somebody that's your peer, you just met them, or maybe like a kid, that's okay. But if you're meeting someone for the first time, maybe they're older than you, or you need to show them respect in some way, you would use usted. For the word we have nosotros and nosotras. So let's look at those differences. Okay, let's look at nosotras first with an A. Nosotras is referring to we as in a group of women. If we is referring to a group of women, then we would use nosotras. If we are talking about a group of men, we would use nosotros. Now here's the tricky part. If you're talking about a mixed group of men and women, you would also use nosotros. Okay, that also applies for the word they. If you are speaking to a group of women, you would use ellas. Or if you're speaking about, really. If you're speaking about, you're referring to a group of women, you would say ellas. You're speaking about a group of men, ellos. Ellos. If you're speaking about a mixed group of men and women, you would also use ellos. And the last one. When you're speaking about you, but in a big group, like you all, not just one person, but more than one person, you would use ustedes. Okay? Is that confusing enough? It really isn't. It's just something you need to memorize, but it really just looks harder than it is because it might just be the first time you're seeing it. Let's look at the bottom. So the informal you is for people younger than you or people you know really well. The formal you is for people older than you, people you want to show respect to, people you don't know too well, people you're polite to. And please, any questions at all, please put them in there. Let's look at the last bullet there. When using plural gendered pronouns, such as nosotros and nosotras, or ellos and ellas, use the plural feminine only when all the members of the group are female. If you're talking about both men and women, you use the plural masculine. Okay, I'm going to let that sink in. Any questions? Okay, we're all good here? Okay, now we're going to use those in just a second here. All right. Okay, so let me now switch over to our other slide. I'm kind of all over the place, so just give me 1 second. All right, so here's where we're going to use them, okay? So now we're going to talk about conjugating these 8R verbs. If you're following along, they're on page 17 at the top. Page 17 at the top. So there, like I said at the beginning of the class, there's 3 different types of verb endings in Spanish. The ones that end with AR, ER, and IR. All Spanish verb infinitives end in one of those three ways. Okay? So to conjugate an AR verb, which is all the ones we already went over, like trabajar, manejar, limpiar, estudiar, all the ones that end with AR, in the simple present tense, you're going to drop the ending, that being the AR, and you're going to add one of the following endings. So here we go, the verb trabajar, to work. That's our first example, trabajar, to work. So we're going to drop the AR at the end of trabajar to conjugate it. So the first one we have is I, English I, Spanish yo trabajo. We drop the AR, we add an O. Yo trabajo, I work. Yo trabajo. Tú, meaning you. Informal you, your buddy, you. You drop the AR, you put AS. Tú trabajas, meaning you work. Tú trabajas. Él, ella, o usted. Él, which is he. Ella, which is she. Or usted, which is formal you. You drop the AR and you add an A, so now it becomes trabaja. He works, she works, you work. Next one, we, which is nosotros or nosotras. Remember, nosotros is a group of males or a group of mixed, and nosotras is a group of females. We is nosotros or nosotras trabajamos. We work. Nosotros trabajamos. Or nosotras trabajamos. And the last one, ellos, ellas, ustedes trabajan. Okay, so remember, ellos, you're talking about they, but you're talking about they as in a group of men, or a group of men and women. Ellas, a group of women, or ustedes, meaning you all, like a group that you're talking to. Ustedes trabajan. Ellos trabajan, ellas trabajan, ustedes trabajan. Okay, any questions? Now we're going to put all this that we just learned to practice. Okay, as I'm erasing over here and I'm turning on my camera and all that, please put in on any questions that you have. Okay, and I'm waiting here for the camera to do its thing. Okay. Okay, so just 1 second because the camera is not showing anything. Okay, well, as I'm waiting here, we are going to do the exercise on page 18. We'll do A on page 18. There we go. Okay, I don't know what happened. Okay, so we'll do A on page 18. We're going to conjugate the verb llegar. Llegar. Okay, llegar, to arrive. So I'll do it up here, and you go ahead and try to beat me at it, okay? So I'll do these first. Okay, so we'll start with yo. Anyone beat me to it? Yo, which is I. Yo llego. So remember, we're going to drop the AR. We'll drop the AR, replace it with an O. Yo llego. Okay, next one. Is this in the book? Yes. Well, the exercise is in the book, and the conjugations are in the book. So if you want to look at the conjugations, they're on page 17. If you want to look at the exercise, it's on page 18. Okay, so we have yo llego, then we have tú. Let me look. Yep. Tú llegas. All right. So remember, we dropped the AR, replace it with AS. Tú llegas. So I arrive. You, informal, arrive. How about he? Ooh, Pamela, very good. Look at her. She's way ahead of us. Okay, so él, which is he. Él llega. He arrives. So we dropped the AR and just added A. Same for ella. Ella llega. Okay. Usted, which is formal you. Let me move this. Usted llega. We'll do another one in a minute. So this is the first time we'll do it here. Then we have nosotros and nosotras, which is we. Okay, I'm going to give everybody else a chance. Carmela, that's perfect. Nice job. Let me see if other people want to write in before I give you the answer. Let me look up here at my list of names. How about Yulia? You want to give it a try? Or Susanna, you want to give it a try? So we have here nosotros or nosotras. How would we conjugate that? Remember, nosotros is we when we're referring to a group of men or a group that is mixed, and nosotras is we when we're referring to a group of women. All right, Julia. Nosotros or nosotras llegamos. We arrive. Okay, how about the next one? Ellos or ellas, which is they. Let me throw some other names out there. Let me see. How about I have Guy from California or Gerardo. Anyone else want to give it a try? So ellos meaning they. I'm sorry. Yeah, ellos meaning they masculine or they group, and ellas meaning they feminine. Gerardo, very good. Ellos, ellas llegan. They arrive. And the last one, ustedes, meaning you all. Who else can we call out? Let's see. Andrea. All right. Everyone's participating. I love it. Okay, ustedes llegan. Meaning you like a group. Llegan. Okay, that one's a little glary there. Let me move it a little bit. You see that? Double L-E-G-A-N. All right, you guys are awesome. Okay, let's do another one, okay? I know it's overwhelming. When you first start to conjugate in any language, it's a little bit much at first. But then you get the hang of it, and it's no big deal. Let's do another verb. So let me see. How about we do the verb nadar, to swim. Nadar. Okay? So we'll do the same thing. So we have yo. Anybody? Let's see who's a little the fastest. Yo nado. Good. I swim. And we have tú, which is informal you. Tú nadas. Very good. Then we have él or ella. Good. Él nada. Good. Good, Carl. Let me see. Tú nadas. Yep. Él nada. There you go. Okay, then we have usted, formal use. Good job, Pramila. Usted. There you go. Usted nada. Okay. How about nosotras? We swim. Nosotras nadamos. How about ellos? They. There we go. Nice job. Ellos nadan. They swim. And ustedes. You all. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. Ustedes nadan. Awesome. Good. Okay. How do we feel? We good? Okay, we're going to do a few more exercises here. So let's do the next exercise on page 18 also. This time we're going to do exercise B. Okay, so this time, it's also conjugating these verbs, but this time they're in sentences. Okay, so we'll just do a few because it takes me forever to write out the sentence. So let's do a few. And if you're doing okay, then we can move on to something else. Okay, if not a problem, we can continue practicing. But I'll leave some for you to practice on your own until next class. So if you're following along, it's on page 18. We'll start with we'll just do number 1, okay? So the first one, yo blank un poco de, I'm going to put it over here because it's difficult for me to go there. Un poco de español, and the verb is hablar. So please conjugate it for me. Hablar. And then I'll translate the whole thing for you. Hablar. And I'm not writing the verb out for you to see if you can just understand it from listening to me. Hablar. Very good, Corel. Very good, Yulia. You just forgot one letter there, but it's good. Good. And I would like as many people as possible to participate, just to make sure everybody's understanding how to conjugate it. So I'll go real slow. Yep. Good, Pramila, Andrea, Gerardo. Oopsie, I'm covering it. Okay, so we have yo hablo with a silent H. Yo hablo un poco de español. Yo hablo un poco de español. I speak a little bit of Spanish. I speak a little Spanish. Yo hablo un poco de español. Okay, let's do another one. Let's do number 3. Nosotros blank los sábados, which is Saturdays. Sábados is Saturdays. Nosotros blank los sábados, and the verb is descansar. Descansar. There we go. Descansar. Muy bien. Yeah, that was a little bit harder. Muy bien. So remember, nosotros is we. We. Muy bien, todo mundo. Okay. So descansar means to rest. Okay. Nosotros descansamos. Okay, so that's teeny weeny, so I'm going to write it down here. Okay, so forget that. Nosotros descansamos. There you go. Los sábados. Nosotros descansamos los sábados. We rest on Saturdays. We. So nosotros here is telling me, because it ends with OS, it's telling me that I'm either referring to men, as in we, I'm a man, or a group of men, or I'm referring to the fact that I am speaking about a group of mixed, of mixed men and women. I am not speaking about a group of just women. Okay? Nosotros, we, descansamos los sábados. We rest on Saturdays. Let's do another one. I'm looking at the time. We just have 4 more minutes, so maybe we'll just stay here and practice some more. Okay? So let's do the next one. Let's do number 6. Abrir blank todos los días. That's number 6. Abrir blank todos los días. The verb is cocinar. Cocinar. Okay, so abrir blank todos los días, the verb is cocinar, to cook. Okay? Cocinar with a C, to cook. So it would be Abril cocina todos los días. Abril cooks every day. Abril cooks every day. How are we doing so far? We're okay so far? Let's do at least one more, okay? So let's do this one. Let's go up to number 4 again. So we have Sofía y Fran blank en Santa Mónica. Sofía y Franz blank en Santa Mónica. And the verb is trabajar. That's number 4. Trabajar. Yes, Camila. Cocinar is to cook. Good, Julia. Muy bien, Andrea. Okay, so we have Sofía y Franz blank in Santa Mónica. The verb trabajar means to work. Trabajar. Here we go. Trabajar. Remember we talked about this verb earlier? Trabajar is to work. Okay, so I have a couple of you that wrote me the infinitive, but I need the conjugation. There we go. Okay. Sofía y Franz trabajan en Santa Mónica. Sofía y Franz trabajan en Santa Mónica. So Sofía and Franz work in Santa Monica. Sofía and Franz work in Santa Monica. Okay, guys, how do we do? So we're able to talk about the AR verbs. We're able to learn how to conjugate regular AR verbs. Lost. Okay, I see some of you are having some problems, and I see I didn't have as much participation as I did before, so that's okay. On Thursday, we're going to look at this again. We're going to go over these again. We'll talk about the subject pronouns, and we'll talk about how to conjugate them. What I need from you guys is, please, if you have the book, and even if you don't, I need you to find some regular AR verbs, just like the ones we talked about today. I want you to practice conjugating, just like we did today. Practice using the subject pronouns, the yo, tú, él, ella, usted, nosotros, nosotras, all of that. Practice using that. maybe practice, if you have the book, then you have plenty of things to do in the book. There's plenty of exercises on page 16, on page 17, on page 18, on page 19, lots of things for you to do. If you don't have the book, maybe just look it up, ask a friend, maybe Google it or something, but find somewhere where you can practice using these regular AR verbs and practice using them in sentences, especially just conjugating them, okay? On Thursday, we'll talk about conjugating again. We'll talk about the AR verbs and using them with the subject pronouns. And we'll practice a little bit more of these on page 18. We'll do a few more of those on exercise B, and then we'll continue lesson 3, okay? We'll finish up lesson 3, and then we'll start on lesson 4, which we'll talk about the other types of verbs, the ER and the IR verbs. Let me look at the answers. Are you asking me the answers in the back? Let me see. Yes, they are. Thanks for letting me know. Okay, so there you go. Perfect. So the answers are in the back, and you can make sure that those are correct. But if you have any questions, on Thursday, bring them to me, and we'll talk about any questions that you might have. So if there aren't any more questions tonight, I'll go slow just in case. I really appreciate the participation. Some of you guys did really well, and I appreciate that you guys tried. If you were having problems, I still had a lot of people participating, so I appreciate it. You guys are great. Just keep it up. Do not get discouraged. It's always hard when you're learning another language. It's not a big deal, okay? So you guys, good night, and I will see you all on Thursday.